Hey everyone, another video coming at you here for Chapter 6, Section 6 in our book, if you're using the same book we are in class. And the essential question today is how can you find markups? So the previous videos to this were all about how do you find a discount. We like discounts. When you go shopping, a discount is awesome. That's when you're saving money, when there's a sale. Markups, we don't like too much. This is when you go to the store and the price has been marked up. People aren't too excited about markups. But let me kind of give you a little bit of background of where they come from. Because when you walk into the store and buy something, like if you show up in the store and you buy a candy bar, the candy bar had to get to that store. And there's a lot of process to how that candy bar gets there. And that's where a lot of the markup comes from. So let's kind of backtrack here to candy. I'm going to focus on candy. So when candy is made, it starts in the factory, right? It starts with the process of actually making, cooking, putting together the candy itself. And so in the factory is all the cooking and the process of getting it prepared before you can even buy it. And so people work in the factory, people that need to get paid, right? And the candy has to get packaged up. The packaging costs money. They have to buy the materials to make the packaging. Then, most likely, whatever you're buying probably wasn't even made locally. Hopefully it is. A lot of people really try to buy local, but honestly, a lot of the things we buy get shipped from other countries. They load them up on these huge cargo ships. Have you seen these before? Put them in these big containers and ship them over. That costs money. The boat costs money, getting it across the ocean costs money, and then when it arrives, it has to be unloaded at one of these shipping docks. Have you ever been to a shipping dock before? They have to unload the boat in all of these containers, and then it still has to get to where you live. You probably don't live right next to the shipping dock. So here we are, we've got a map of the United States. These are train routes, these red lines that you see. So depending on what part of the country you live in, you might live in the middle of the country and your item's been shipped to the coast, but it's still got to make it to you in your town where you live. So it's got to be put on a train or the back of a semi-truck, and it's got to be delivered to where you are. And so that's why you see these trains with these big cargoes on them. Well, they're coming right off the boats, being put on the train, and then being sent to different towns and cities. And sometimes they're on the back of semi-trucks as well. But the train costs money. The semi-truck costs money. The people who drive them need to be paid. So then it gets to the store, and the semi-truck backs up into one of these docks. You've probably seen these before. And they have to unload it, and they unload it, and they fill it up in the store, and then they, as they need it, they bring it off the shelf and put it where you can go and purchase it. And it finally gets to this point. So there's a lot of work to get that candy on the shelf when you go to buy it. It starts in the factory, it has to be made, it's got to be packaged, it's got to be shipped, it's got to be driven on a semi-truck or on the back of a train, and it's got to be unpackaged and delivered to the store, basically. And so then eventually it gets to places like this, common stores that we shop at. Target's an easy example. And so Target puts that candy out on the shelf. Well, they got to make money. So Target buys the candy and then turns around and sells it to us. Well, Target's paying for the factory, the boat that shipped it over, the train or the semi-truck and the drivers. They've got to pay for all that. So this is where markup comes in. What they're going to do is they're going to mark up the price so that they can make some money. So we're going to try a markup problem. It'll be our first example in our notes today. So Target pays 50 cents, we're going to say, for a candy bar. And that 50 cents goes to the boat and the factory and the semi-truck. It gets divided up amongst them. But Target wants to make some money too. So here's our Kit Kat bar that we're buying. They're going to mark it up 40% so that they make some money. So let's figure out how much we're paying for the candy bar. Target paid 50 cents. Now we got to pay for our part. So what I'm going to do is figure out what's the selling price in the store. What's the sticker price that I'm paying? And I'm going to do it with double number line. So I'm going to set up my facts, and my facts are that it costs 50 cents for Target to buy the bar. The markup is 40%. And on a number line, if I set that up from 0 to 100%, what that means is 0%, $0. 100% is what Target paid, which is 50 cents. But we're not paying that price. We're paying the markup price. So we're going up on the number line, and we're going to actually make it longer. We get to pay an extra 40%. That's the part that Target makes. So we're not paying 100%, we're paying 140%. And to figure this out, I'm going to take my 50-cent candy bar and times it by 40% to see what the markup is. Now 40% as a decimal is 0.4. So we're going to times our 50 cents times 0.4, and we can do that with a calculator. 50 cents times 0.4, if we multiply that together, is 0.2. That means our markup is 0.20, basically 20 cents. So we're going to take the 50 cents and add 20 more cents on, making it the total 70 cents. So when we get to the store, we pay 70 cents for the candy bar, let's say. That's not a bad deal, actually. Target didn't make 70 cents. When you go and you pay them, they don't get to keep all 70 cents. They only keep the markup. Target just made 20 cents. The other 50 goes to the boat, the factory, the train, all the process of getting the candy bar to the store. Does that make sense? So markup is the part that the store gets to make. So when you pay, a lot of people go to the store and they pay for something and they're like, oh, this is so expensive. I'm so frustrated that, Target just made 70 cents from me. No, they didn't. They made 20 cents. The other 50 cents went to all the other process. So you kind of have to keep that in mind when you buy things. Okay, let's try another problem. So a store pays $75 for an aquarium, and then they mark it up 20%. It's one of those big aquariums that you get that are nice, that you see like in the dentist's office and stuff. And you go to the store, and the question is really, what's the selling price that you're going to be paying if you want to buy this aquarium? Okay, so we're going to set up our facts and our double number line. So the facts are pretty straightforward. It's $75 for the aquarium, but the store is going to mark it up 20% so they can make some money. So our number line goes 0 to 100% and $0 to $75. But we're not paying 75. We got to mark up the number line. So we're going to extend our number line another 20%. We're going up. So we're paying 120%, and our job is to figure out how much is that. So we're going to take $75 and we're going to times it by 20%. Moving the decimal, that means 0.2 or 0.20. So $75 times our 0.2 is going to multiply to something that we're going to have to do in our calculator to see what that is. And 75 times 0.2 is 15. So the markup is we have to add on 15 extra dollars. So 75 plus 15, we add that up. What's $75 plus 15? Yeah, 90. So when you go to the store to buy that nice aquarium, you're going to pay $90 for the aquarium. And you might be like, oh my gosh, the store just made $90 off of me, but not really true, is it? How much money did the store actually make? The store made 15 bucks. You spent 90, but a lot of it was just for the shipping container and the factory and the production of the whole item. So that again, that's markup. All right, your turn. Let's have you try one of these and see what you think. So here's our problem. Zoomies pays $35 for a sweatshirt. You ever shop at Zoomies? You know what I'm talking about here. So you go to Zoomies, you get one of those nice sweatshirts. Zoomie paid $35, but they mark it up 60%. So the question is what's the selling price? Right now, I want you to pause your device, and I want to see if you can set up your own double number line to solve for the selling price. Go ahead and try. Cool. All right, you ready to check your answer? Let's see how you did. So double number line needs the facts. So the facts are it costs $35. There's a 60% markup. Our number line is going to go from 0 to 100, which is $0 to $35. You're not paying $35. You're getting a markup, an extension of an extra 60%. That's a big markup, Zoomies. I totally made this up, by the way. I don't know what Zoomies marks up their sweatshirts, just to clarify. So we're going to do $35 times 60%, but as a decimal, that's 0.6. So $35 times 0.6 is the math we need to do. And I got $21 when I did that. So the markup is they're adding on $21 to their price. So 35 plus 21 more adds up to $56. So when you go to the store, you just bought your $56 sweatshirt, your nice sweatshirt. But the store doesn't keep all 56. They only get to keep 21 of that. The rest goes to paying for the cost of getting it to the store. So again, that's markup. So $56 is the price you paid. So how'd you do? This was your you try. How's your double number line look? Do we have similar looking math? Did you end up with $56? Look how kind of organized the work is. Like, we're trying to make it so anybody can read and follow what we're doing. So is your work looking organized and neat? Take a look at your notebook and see what you think. All right, guys, so that's wrapping up this video. Markup is not necessarily anybody's favorite thing, but the reality is stores need to do it so they can make money, or they couldn't be in business. Part of being a business owner is figuring out what's the right amount of markup. You know, if you mark things up 60%, makes things pretty expensive. If you mark things up only 10%, people might buy it more, but you also don't make as much money. So as a business owner, that is one of the challenges, is figuring out what's the right amount of markup. I don't want to mark it up too high and nobody buys it, but I don't want to mark it up too low and not make any money. So that's the joy of, owning a business and getting to set those prices. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.